Today I'm going to show you how to make mince pies. You will need 200 grams of plain flour, 130 grams of butter cubed, 1 egg, 1 tablespoon of caster sugar, roughly 1 tablespoon of water, a jar of mincemeat, which mine was 411 grams, and an optional is milk, which you will need about 100 millilitres. So I'm releasing a video at the same time of this as how to make your own mincemeat, but if you can't or you don't want to, you can buy shop bought mincemeat. Though a little trick I do have with shop bought mincemeat is, so what I like to do is in the January sales, when the mincemeat is all cheap on the shelves, I go and buy a couple of jars, I pop it in the back of the cupboard, I forget about it for a year, and then I get it out the next Christmas. So I've let it mature to deepen its flavour as it ages, and it is just that much better. So if you can, buy a couple of jars and just chuck it in the back of the cupboard and then use it next year, it is really nice. Firstly, in a bowl, mix together your plain flour and your caster sugar. Then add your cubed butter. Then with the tips of your fingertips, you just want to rub the butter into your flour sugar mix, so then at the end it resembles breadcrumbs. Then, having pre-beaten my egg, you want to mix that in. And then put a little bit of water in at a time until your mixture starts to come together as a dough, at which point then you'll want to mix in the dough, making sure you get all the flour in the bowl. And ideally we want to pop this in the fridge for about an hour to let it firm up a little bit. You don't have to, you can just use it straight away if you want to, but it does make it a little bit better if you can pop it in the fridge for an hour. Then we want to roll out the dough. So having floured my work surface, I'm just going to roll it out. We do want our dough to be quite thin, as a maximum probably about half a centimetre, but I do make sure it is thin. Once it's rolled out, you want to prepare your cupcake tray. I like to use quite a deep cupcake tray, so then you get a lot of mincemeat in each mince pie, which for this recipe, for a deep mince pie, I get about 9. But if you did want to use a thinner tray, so like a fairy cake tray, you can do. It just means that you've got to go on the lower side of the time in the oven rather than the higher, and you'll probably get about 12 out of this. So having floured my cupcake tray to make sure that the mince pies don't stick in the oven, we want to use a circle cutter that is bigger than the holes of the cupcake tray. So cut out your circle of dough and push that into your cupcake hole in the tray, making sure that you push into the corners. You don't want any air trapped underneath, because that might cause an air bubble, which might cause your mince pies to deform slightly on the bottom. So just make sure you push it out so then it completely covers the bottom of the cupcake tray. Then I just give my mincemeat a bit of a stir, just to make sure that the moisture is evenly distributed. I then spoon the mincemeat into the pastry cases. Then for the tops of the mince pies, you can do different designs. So I've got some Christmas cookie cutters, so some stars and some Christmas trees that I'll cut out and put on the top. You can also just do a circle, so you just use one of those circle cutters or one of the fluted designs. Then if you want to, as an optional, you can brush the tops with that milk. This will make it really lovely and golden, but again, you don't have to do it. They're still really nice without. It just kind of gives it that extra something. And if you have done one of the circle or fluted designs, just make sure you put a little hole in the middle of the top. If you've done like the Christmas trees and the stars, you'll be okay because you've got the gaps at the side to let the air out, whereas if it is covered, you'll need to make sure that there is somewhere for that air to escape. Then in a preheated oven at gas mark 6, 200 degrees centigrade or 180 fan assisted, you want to bake them for about 15 to 20 minutes. So if you're to do thin mince pies, go for the 15, and if, like myself, you've done deep mince pies, you'll need about 20 until they're nicely golden brown. And there you have it. That's how you make mince pies.